Good morning and happy Monday, I guess. It is a work day for Tom and I today, so not a particularly exciting Monday, I'm afraid. But there's only 2 days, today and tomorrow, and then we've both got, when you run your own business, you don't always have full time off, but we've pretty much both got 8 days off. I'm sure there'll be a few bits and pieces I need to get done in that time, but I'm not going to be dying for 8 days and I'm not going to be doing anything overly complicated. That's the plan anyway. So yeah, today is, as I said, it's a bit of a work day. I am winding stripes. The boys are having a chill out day again, computer games, TV, playing in their room. It's nice outside. It's sunny, but it is really cold and it's quite windy, so I'm sure I'll convince them outside at some point. Might take them for a walk a little bit later on once I've met my quota of stripes. But yeah, a bit like that. One thing that's quite exciting though is we have just booked a viewing to go and have a little look at a house tomorrow. We've been keeping a little eye on kind of the house market locally and anything that comes up. And we spotted a new property that came up. Well, I don't know when it came up. It must have come up yesterday or something like that. It's just gone on the market, which looks promising, within our price range, got scope for me to be able to work somehow. And probably it looks like it's about the right kind of space for us, decent garden, that kind of thing. And it's a little bit further than I would like in terms of the school, but the boys have both got school places already. So Jasper starts school in August and his school place has been confirmed. So it shouldn't affect the schooling. So they'll be able to stay at the school that they're at the moment. And to be fair, when I say it's a bit further out, it's only about 2 miles from the school. So it's not ridiculously far away. The only thing it might affect is when we start looking at secondary schools and stuff like that. But that's quite a long way off. So I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, we'll see. I don't want to get my hopes up after everything going wrong last time and how kind of chaotic things went when we went before. If you followed for a while, you'll kind of have an idea. But we tried to purchase a house locally, very locally actually, just around the corner. And everything seemed to go really well. You know, we'd got an agreement in principle, we'd done all of that kind of thing. We put in an offer, we had our offer accepted. And we were literally waiting for our mortgage to come through, which seemed to be taking ages and ages and ages. And we kept chasing them. And then it got declined. And we were like, well, okay, why is it being declined? Because we've got the money. You know, there's nothing that would say as to why it's been declined. Only for us to find out that the mortgage people, the mortgage company that we had put the mortgage in with, the broker who had put the mortgage application in for us, had applied us for a mortgage that we weren't eligible for because a portion of our deposit had been gifted rather than us earning it, which is ridiculous and actually won't matter this time because it's been 6 months since that portion has been gifted. So anyway, whole complicated thing. And basically it meant that our mortgage got declined and the sellers of the house weren't willing to wait for us to put a new mortgage application in, even though we'd found a mortgage that insisted that they would have a turnaround of 30 days and they didn't see any problems with that application. They put it back on the market, and within 24 to 48 hours of them putting back on the market, they had been given a cash offer at what we had offered. So yeah, it all went. But anyway, these things happen, don't they, with houses? It's all frustrating. But hopefully, we'll have a little look. We went and looked at one a few weeks ago, but it was tiny. When we actually got there and got inside, it was smaller than what we're in now. So it definitely wasn't worth it. So yeah, I'll let you know anyway. I'll let you know tomorrow how that goes. But it was something to tell you about and something a little bit exciting. Right, I need to get on with winding these stripes now though. And this is a classic example of why I wind my stripes by hand. I now have a tangled mess that has popped off the warping board and needs untangling. And if this was on a Swift or something like that, it would be a bit of a nightmare to untangle. Whereas because I've obviously got the ball, I can feed it through as and when and where I need to. But yeah, it's always a pain when this happens. But still, it's a pretty colourway. Whew, busy day. But I have successfully finished winding all of the self-striping, which means that I am planning to have a shop update on Saturday the 10th, probably at 8 p.m, usually is, with the self-striping, I can't talk, and some other bits and pieces. I've got a new mini bundle, gradient mini bundle, for April, which is my grey gradient, and I'm going to restock the blue gradient, and I've dyed up a few of the Nostalgia Club colourways. I just need to sort that lot out tomorrow, and then yeah, shop update, woohoo! But yeah, I've been on my feet all day winding these stripes. It's 4 o'clock. The boys, I don't know if you can hear them, the boys are playing out in the garden, so we didn't quite get for a walk, but at least they're out there getting some fresh air and not just on screens constantly. I haven't really chatted to the camera today, and I was trying to think about what to share on the vlog, and I thought I could share my knitting journal. I started a knitting journal this year for the first time. I've never really succeeded in keeping a decent knitting journal, but this year I thought I would give it a go. So yeah, I thought I could share that. What I will do is just flip the camera around so that you can see this rather than me trying to hold it up and stuff like that. Okay, so here it is. It's just a simple A5 notebook. Tom picked me this up as a little extra at Christmas. It's obviously got a H for Helen on the front, so appreciated. But yeah, what I've done is, let's see if I can open it up. I've got like a basic sort of my goals for the year. If you watched my Vlogmas, I talked about my goals for the year on Vlogmas. So there's 6 skeins that I've picked out of my stash that I want to get knit up this year. So I've written down, I've just written down the dyers of the skeins. They're on my shelf in the office. In fact, I'll show them to you a little bit later on. The year of washcloths, which is from the kitchen sink shop. Garlene of the kitchen sink shop is doing a year of free washcloth patterns, 1 each month, which is a good point. I must cast on this month's. The email came out the other day. And I also want to finish a blanket. And I'm well on my way to finishing my advent blanket. So that's really good. So yeah, I just started off with a page on my knitting goals. And then all I'm doing is I'm just doing a page for each finished object. And I'm just kind of sticking fun bits in. So the first thing I finished this year was my Halloween socks. They were just shorty socks using one of my sock blanks. Then I've got my Icicles washcloth, which was the first washcloth. I haven't got a picture of that one because I used it before I got around to take a picture, and I didn't really want to have a picture of a used washcloth. Then my Christmas socks. So this was using last year's advent calendar, my last year's Giddy Yarns advent calendar. I made some scrappy socks. Then we've got the February washcloth, my Christmas Eve cast on socks, and I've just got the yarn label in there from that one as well. And then I've got my Vertices Unite with a very cheesy photo of me on the beach. But oh well, I can never get decent photos of shawls ever. And then my stripy socks for Sharon at the SER1 TNA Knitting Project podcast, her knit along. This was my February entry. Then I've got the March washcloth, the little blue bed of happiness that I knit as well, and the fact that Arthur dyed the yarn because we dyed it with snow, and a little bit about that. And then my I haven't finished this page, obviously, as you can see, but I have finished my Desert Vista Dye Works socks. They were my March entry into Sharon's Knit Along. I've got the yarn band there because I want to stick that in somehow. And I just need to print out the photograph and stick that in there and add a few extra little bits, really. But I'm quite enjoying it. It's very simple. It's very kind of low stress. I'm just kind of sticking in bits that make me happy or remind me. Like with this page, I kind of picked stripes, basically. That was kind of my thinking, was with the bee and the bits, they reminded me of stripes. Hence, you've got a stripy fish. With the Vertices Unite, I liked the idea of these being kind of, that they had vertices. Does that make sense? I don't know. Can you see what I mean? It's the same sort of style as the way that the shawl's constructed. But yeah, that's my little knitting notebook. So every finished object that I have, I'm going to pop in here and see how it comes on through the year. In case anyone's interested, for the photos, I treated myself to a little mini printer. This is the one I've got. It's a Canon Zoe Mini. And it just prints little pictures, basically. It was not cheap, I will say that. It was just over £100. And the packs for the printer papers are about 30 quid, something like that. I had a minor panic because I ordered this in January, and then all of a sudden, obviously, everything kind of went through with Brexit, and I hadn't realised when I ordered it that the company that I ordered it from, although the website said Canon UK, they were actually based in the Netherlands. And it took forever because it got caught up in all the Brexit bureaucracy, and I was panicking that I was going to get customs charges. Luckily, the total value was just below the customs charge limit for things coming into the UK. So yeah, if you can get it in the UK, then it's great and I love it. As I said, it's not cheap, but I am really enjoying it for the purpose of this. And it's also quite handy for just being able to print out little pictures of the kids and pop them in cards and stuff to my parents as well. I was just about to get myself set up for Dungeons and Dragons this evening. More of it, you'll be sick of the sound of it by the time April vlogs are over. But it's Monday night, so tonight I have a Crafty Dragons session with my lovely crafty group. And I was just about to go and get myself set up and sort my laptop out. And I remembered I hadn't done the book of the day yet. So this is today's book of the day. This is The Silent Companions by Laura Purcell. And it's a relatively recent read for me. I read this towards the end of last year, I think. I talked about it briefly on my Vlogmas, so you might already have heard me talk about it. But this is possibly one of the creepiest books that I've ever read. If you are a fan of horror or kind of ghost stories or that kind of thing, then I would highly recommend this. It was brilliant, but it was very creepy. And I like kind of creepy stuff, but I get nightmares quite easily. So, well, not nightmares so much as I have an overactive imagination in an evening. So like I'll get into bed and get settled into bed, and then that's it. My brain has gone with all the creepy things that could be happening, all the ghosts that could be coming. And I'm not an overly superstitious, that's the word I want. I'm not an overly superstitious person, but you know, give me a mind full of creepy things and my imagination imagines them in every single corner. I don't get nightmares so much, but yeah, more that kind of over imagination kind of thing. And there were evenings, because I mostly read this at bedtime, there were definitely nights where I was reading the chapters and I was just getting to the point where I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to sleep. But it was so good and it was so clever and I really enjoyed it. I'll read the blurb quickly for you. Newly married, newly widowed Elsie is sent to see out her pregnancy at her late husband's crumbling country estate, the Bridge. With her new servants resentful and the local villagers actively hostile, Elsie only has her husband's awkward cousin for company. Or so she thinks, for inside her new home lies a mysterious wooden figure, a silent companion that bears an unsettling resemblance to Elsie herself. And yeah, it's just really creepy, and it's such a good kind of horror story. Very kind of Victorian Gothic. Yeah, really, really good. So if you're looking for something that's going to scare you a little bit, but not necessarily horrendously, but yeah, something a little bit creepy and a little bit scary, then give this one a try. Right, I am all set up and ready for an evening of crafty Dungeons and Dragons. What's quite amusing is that it's going on at the moment, but I've turned my video off and my sound off, so they don't know I'm talking to the camera. But if any of you are watching this, I'm talking to the camera while you're all talking about leveling up. I've got my Advent crochet blanket, which is what I'm going to be working on tonight. I've got a glass of wine, and yeah, that's it. But I thought I would pop on quickly just to round off the vlog and say goodbye. So goodbye, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.